You know, a lot of people listening to us now, we talk about the Jesus movement because we were kind of you were right in the middle of it, and I was really affected by it. But
Yeah.
a lot of people listening to us, do they even know what the Jesus movement was? You know, just talk a little bit about what was happening. It was late '60s,
It was
early '70s.
about 69 through 73 was kind of the peak. It started coming up in 69, 70. It just exploded like a bomb went off.
Like what, a revival?
Greg Laurie would call it the last great revival in America. Some people call it a people movement, but hundreds of thousands of young people came. You got to remember, this is coming out of Vietnam, drug culture, protests, the Students for a Democratic Society, Black Panthers, all this radical stuff, right? And all these kids are into Eastern mysticism and, Paramahansa Yogananda and all these different things.
And you were experimenting with a little bit
all
of
that stuff.
Everybody was. Right?
Everybody was. It was just, it was like everybody's got a Chevrolet, right? So we were all on a quest to find something better than what we'd seen so far. I think there was a dissatisfaction that there had to be something more, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Great.
So that drove. So when Sandy Love told us about this little church, we went there, and the Jesus movement hadn't really exploded yet.
It wasn't called the Jesus movement.
No, it wasn't. What happened is so many young people started getting saved at this little church and in Kansas City, where Paul Clark was, and up in Jack Hayford's church. All of a sudden, all these hippie kids are coming to your church with no shoes and broken lives. And they're sitting, and they're anxious to study the Bible and read the Bible, and they go forward, give their life to Christ, and pretty soon their parents are coming to Christ, and then they bring all their friends, and so when I went to Calvary Chapel, what I tell people is, I was scared to death. I was so broken, and these people were so whole that I felt like I didn't belong there, or I didn't deserve to be there, but I watched what went on. And here's what I learned. God was there. I had no way to process this. I knew God was present in the room. They actually loved him. And when they sang these simple songs of worship, I could tell they were I was almost like I knew what the next word was. And then when Pastor Chuck Smith broke open the Bible, it was so reasonable. And I went, wow, they actually know what the future is going to be. And then they laid oil and laid hands on people and prayed for the sick. And it was so obvious that they did the basics of church and faith really well, and that touched me deeply, made me want to come back.